Some legal experts are defending a BART police officer accused of punching Oscar Grant just before Grant was shot and killed New Year's Day. Officer Tony Peroni is now the subject of an excessive force investigation because of amateur video that aired on a local TV station. But now, KRON 4 has uncovered new video from a different angle. And after watching it, some experts say Peroni did nothing wrong. Da Lin has more in a story you'll see only on 4.
Experts say this newly discovered video could prove BART police officer Tony Peroni did nothing wrong. If you slow the video down, they say you'll see Peroni did not punch Oscar Grant.
Because it definitely shows the officer's hand fully extended with his fingers.
If he wanted to use excessive force and if he wanted to strike Grant, he would have closed his fist and popped him good to take him down.
Former Alameda County District Attorney Michael Cardoza says Peroni appears to be restraining Grant by grabbing his head and pushing his body down. That's consistent with what appears to happen next. Grant's left arm and head pushing back up. Oakland martial arts instructor John Morrison wants us to look at Peroni's body movement.
When I strike, I can generate force by pivoting my hip into it. Now, the way the officer is standing, his right leg is locked, his left heel is off the ground. You can see it in the footage, and he's striking like this. This is counterintuitive, and it lacks any power behind the strike. Also notice his left hand is down as if he's going to pull down.
Morrison says instead, Peroni's stance is consistent with the grab and push down.
This video should change a lot of people's minds if they look objectively at this tape.
But until now, very few people have seen this footage. Instead, many have seen a cell phone video shot from a different angle, where Peroni appears to be swinging his right arm. Based on that video, a lot of people assume he punched Oscar Grant. Experts we've talked to say the poor quality of that cell phone video may have led people to jump to conclusions. KRON 4 doesn't have the rights to broadcast that video, but many people argue this video you're seeing right now shows more of what happened. But it doesn't change John Burris' opinion. He represents Oscar Grant's family. Burris claims Grant was the good guy trying to calm his friends down and says there was no reason for Peroni to lay his hand on Grant in the first place. As for whether it was a grab or a strike,
it really doesn't matter from our point of view, because at the time he engaged in that conduct, it was unnecessary and it was excessive.
Cardoza says not true.
Was he reaching for a gun? Could have been.
Right before Peroni puts his hand on Grant, Cardoza points out that Grant appears to be reaching for the officer's gun.
Now, do we know if he was reaching for the gun? No, we don't. But you can imagine what Officer Peroni must be thinking.
Burris says the accusation makes no sense. He argues Grant was trying to resolve the problem, not escalate it.
I find that to be a ridiculous assumption.
But what's not an assumption, Cardoza says, is Peroni did not punch Grant.
This would be wrong to prosecute this officer.
In Oakland, Da Lin, KRON 4 News.
BART says there are 2 investigations examining Officer Tony Peroni's conduct. They hope to finish the criminal investigation in 2 weeks. The internal affairs investigation should wrap up in a month. Peroni remains on paid administrative leave.